Time for your 420 Radio News for Wednesday, May 8th, 2013. I'm Russ Belville. Marijuana for recreational use is now legal in Colorado. Governor Hickenlooper has signed Amendment 64 into the state constitution. This from Huffington Post. Today, Governor Hickenlooper signed executive orders making an official declaration of the vote related to Amendment 64. The declaration formalizes Amendment 64 as part of Colorado's state constitution and makes legal the personal use, possession, and limited home growing of marijuana under Colorado law for adults aged 21 and older. Amendment 64 allows adults 21 and older to purchase up to 1 ounce of marijuana from specialty marijuana dispensaries and grow up to 6 plants in their homes. Possession is limited to up to 1 ounce for personal use, but selling marijuana without a license, purchasing marijuana from a party who is not licensed, as well as public use of marijuana, will remain illegal. Marijuana DUI bill passes in Colorado Senate, appears poised to become law, from Huffington Post. A controversial measure which sets a THC blood limit for Colorado motorists, a concept which has failed 6 times in the last 3 years in the state legislature, passed in the state Senate Tuesday. The Senate passed House Bill 1325 on a 24-11 vote, and it now heads to Governor John Hickenlooper, who has said he supports a marijuana DUI framework for the state. As in previous years when marijuana DUI bills have come up for debate, opponents say that the 5 nanogram standard is too low for frequent pot smokers, especially medical marijuana patients who regularly have this level of THC in the bloodstream. But HB 1325 allows for a person who has been charged with having over 5 nanograms of THC in their blood to rebut the charge that they are too impaired to drive. All of the previous failed marijuana DUI bills were per se bills, meaning if a driver tested above the legal 5 nanogram limit, the result would be an automatic conviction nearly every time. Colorado legislature gives final approval to historic marijuana bill, from Denver Post. The Colorado legislature on Wednesday gave final approval to a bill asking voters to impose taxes on recreational marijuana, inching the state legislature closer to becoming the first in the country to pass laws regulating recreational pot. The state Senate approved the tax measure and another one spelling out rules for marijuana stores and sent both to the House on Wednesday morning. The House quickly passed both bills and sent them to the governor. House Bill 1318 would impose a 15% excise tax and a sales tax initially set at 10% on recreational marijuana sales. Voters this November would have to give their approval of the tax rates before they could take effect. The money would be used for school construction and for regulation of marijuana stores. Many of the rules for those stores are spelled out in House Bill 1317, the second bill approved by the Senate on Wednesday. Under the bill, marijuana stores would need to be licensed by the state and owned by Colorado residents. For the first 9 months, only current medical marijuana dispensary owners could apply to open recreational pot shops. The first recreational marijuana stores to open would have to grow what they sell, but wholesale growers and standalone retailers would be allowed starting in October of 2014. New Hampshire medical marijuana advocates push for home grow, from San Francisco Gate. Medical marijuana advocates in New Hampshire appealed to Governor Maggie Hassan on Tuesday, urging her to support a provision allowing patients to grow marijuana at home, saying it's crucial to ensure immediate access for terminally ill patients. Hassan called several lawmakers last week to make clear she wouldn't sign a medical marijuana bill with a home grow provision, citing concerns about the state's ability to regulate such operations. Despite her having voiced those concerns throughout this legislative session, marijuana policy reform advocate Matt Simon said he was shocked and disappointed that Hassan didn't come around, especially after she met with sick patients who told her they will not live long enough to benefit from a dispensary-only model. The Senate Health and Education and Human Services Committee on Tuesday passed a rewritten version of the medical marijuana proposal, striking the home grow provision and making other changes requested by the governor. Among the changes it makes are removing PTSD from the list of approved conditions and decreasing the number of dispensaries sanctioned in the state from 5 to 4. Massachusetts wants independent labs to test medical marijuana sold in the state, from the Boston Globe. Companies hoping to sell marijuana for medical use in Massachusetts will be required to hire an independent lab to test their products for contaminants such as heavy metals and pesticides under final rules that regulators approved by unanimous vote Wednesday morning. The rules previously would have allowed marijuana dispensaries to conduct their own testing. That's your 420 Radio News for Wednesday, May 8th, 2013. I'm Russ Belville. When we come back, we go behind the headlines and take a look at the story of Luis Octavio Lopez Vega, a former informant for the DEA who's now on the run from the U.S. and Mexican governments. You're listening to The Russ Belville Show on 420radio.org. We'll be right back.